Yeah, Coach, what changes for you guys now that school has started and camp is technically over?
Yes, we're going to afternoons now, and you get more prep time in the morning, and start looking forward to the opponents. So looking at the first game and getting prepared for that, and also still doing some good on good versus the offense. So kind of both at this point.
Is it difficult having conversations about scout teams and those types of things?
No, you know what? Not really, because if you're transparent along the way, it's not a shock to anybody. It shouldn't be a shock to the player. They watch the same film that we watch. So not really. I think, having those conversations along the way make it a lot better, a lot easier.
And how do you see things shaking out, I guess, at linebacker? You obviously continue competition, but I know you'd also like to get a little bit more settled in on knowing who your next guys are, and you've been without Xavier also.
Yeah, so Sorry, Stevens, Shaw, and the guy we're not really talking about is Trent Whalen. He's been a great addition for us, and he's a guy that's going to play for us. You was watching the first two scrimmages, you could see he has a lot of time on task of playing linebacker, and he's been a great addition, even with special teams, the value that he brings with special teams. But Trent Whalen is a guy that's really, really been climbing the charts, from just putting the football down, playing football. So very pleased with him.
Coach, we're less than 2 weeks before the kickoff out here. What would be your one biggest concern or worry before the first game? I mean, everybody worries about it. So what would be your one that you're most worried about with the defense?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about anything. Just want to make sure we get all the horses to the race, all the guys, just making sure the guys are fresh, and definitely will do that because of the way Coach Pittman practices set up. And ever since I've been here, he's done a great job of getting those guys ready. Just make sure the little nicks and bruises is what I'm talking about, just making sure they all healed. And that'll be the main thing, just making sure we continue to build on the depth.
In the linebacker and secondary, it seems like you've got some numbers there, depth. So how do you feel about the defensive line depth right now?
Yes, we have to continue to establish depth. May need some young guys to step up, and we have guys that's played in SEC ball, but just the depth part of it is definitely a deal that we have to figure out. Young guys is why we recruit, and being able to see those guys play early if they're ready. So we tell the guys, if you're good enough, you're old enough. So, just getting those guys ready. But we'll definitely need some young guys to step up.
I want to ask you about the scrimmage Saturday, what your key takeaways were. Do you feel like the first unit played better than the first scrimmage?
Yeah, just the effort, just from top to bottom, the effort. That's what we talk. We'll teach you football. Like the X's and O's, that's on the coaches. But we need to get to the ball like our life depending on it. And I just thought throughout the whole week, we did a pursuit drill every day of last week. So we wanted to make sure it showed up when we go out there and we scrimmage. And I thought that was one thing that we could build upon. And that's something that we did a lot better than the first scrimmage.
I want to ask you about the safeties and the hog guys. Just what you feel about the depth. Do you feel comfortable with where you are with starters right now?
Yes, definitely feel good about the depth. It's still ongoing as far as, okay, who's going to go out there the first series. But we tell the guys, if you go out there and we play you, you are a starter to us. Very pleased with Jordan Young. He's been a great addition for us. And Miguel Mitchell has done an outstanding job on the back end. He knows it inside out, very smart. And Caleb Wooden has been a great addition for us. And Larry Worth has been doing really well. And, you got so many guys. Shakir Smalls has been a great addition, because I know you asked about the safeties and the hogs. Yeah. But those guys have been really good. So we have that depth. And just like the last scrimmage, in 12 personnel, we personnel match. You may see 3 linebackers and not a hog. You may see a hog out there. You just never know, depending on the personnel that we face. But very pleased with all of those guys.
And on Shakir's progress since he wasn't here in spring, what have you made of him specifically?
You know what? A guy that could pick up the system, a guy that's very physical. He's quiet, but when he's out on the football field, you can feel his presence. Doesn't say a lot, but really like his progress. Could get guys lined up, so he's been a great addition for us.
Coach, got a couple turnovers questions for you. We talked to Sam about it on Saturday, and while he said the first team defense might not be creating any turnovers in the scrimmages, like he puts that more toward the offense taking care of the ball. Is there any concern that you guys maybe haven't generated some first team turnovers in the past 2 scrimmages?
Not really. To be honest with you, it's a few things. Like we like the quarterback to keep going so the offense can go through their progressions and the defensive backs can cover. It's some things that sacks and different things wasn't called. So it's a lot of different things that we could look at. We want to stay away from the quarterback. That's smart. That'd be dumb to even get close to the quarterback. But we still have to be able to separate guys from the ball and get turnovers. So we continue to work those drills. And but a lot of times in scrimmages you can't really tell because of the way it's laid out. But we have to get the ball back to our offense so our offense can be able to go down and score.
And are you following up on that outside of the scrimmages? Are you seeing anything in practice that's encouraging you, Coach Pittman, from that standpoint that you guys think you'll be able to generate more turnovers this fall?
Yeah, just being able to get them in practice when the opportunities are there. I just tell the guys, don't back down the ball. Let's intercept the ball. Like, it's not a PBU when the ball hits you in the hands. That should be an interception. So just being able to do that. But, man, very pleased with the guys. The guys on the back end is doing a great job, and we're trying to script the ball out, doing different things like that. So the progress is going well.
Coach, you mentioned Trent Whalen earlier. Kind of what specifically does he bring to the table, at that linebacker spot that's made him so impressive?
You know what? He's a guy that has a lot of experience, very smart, kid diagnosed, has a good change of direction in the core. We put him out at the penny hog. We call our hog the penny when we get in our 4-3 stuff. And he hasn't had a lot of reps there, but he's out there. He knows what he's doing. He asks a lot of good questions in the meetings, and just very pleased with him. And doesn't say a lot, knows his role. When he goes out there, he plays some football, so really like him.
And I think we know about, Cam Ball and Ian Jaffrard and Danny Siley, but with Okie going down, I mean, you mentioned the young guys. Who specifically are you looking at to, like, hey, we need you to step up with, who knows how long Okie's going to be out?
All of them. I mean, we signed them all to play, so all those guys got to step up, and we'll get Okie back in. We'll get Okie back in the future, so very soon. So I'm not down on that. That's just some camp stuff that happens, and now it's time for us to see, okay, the next man up, and we'll get Okie back as soon as possible.
What do you feel like the strengths of your defense are right now? If you're assessing it, what y'all are doing well.
You know what? I say the linebackers and defensive backs. We got a lot of experience back there. We have in the defensive back rooms, we got a lot of guys that have 1 year left eligibility. So we have a lot of guys that played a lot of football. Steven Dix, this is last year eligibility. So you have guys that's been around the block. We have guys with mustaches, so we don't have a lot of young guys. So that's a good thing. So that experience means a lot, when you get up under the lights and get to play big-time football. So we definitely going to lean on that experience.
And then Sam brought up Phillip Lee on Saturday, too, after the scrimmage, said he's progressed. What are you seeing from him?
Just juice off the edge. He's understanding the system. He's another guy that's got here in the fall, in June. He got here in June and picking up the system, and we're not slowing down our install, so for him to pick it up, and he really has a really good juice off the edge for us.
How well has a younger guy like Bradley Shaw embraced filling the shoes of Sorey for now?
He's been great. We see him as a starter. So it's one of them deals like his time has come, his moment has come. So him to go out there and make some plays, he made some really good plays this past scrimmage, and looking for him to continue to grow, in that leadership role. He knows all three positions, very smart, good linebacker. So he's one of those three guys that we consider a starter.
Even though the quarterbacks are safe in the scrimmage, who would you say had the best pass rush, best pressure?
I don't know. There's a lot of guys have done some really good stuff. Like we just asked about Phillip Lee. I think he's a guy that's kind of jumped off the film a little bit. You can see that juice. You see a lot of different, even in the interior, Cam Ball and Ian Jaffrard is doing some. Danny Sully is doing some really good things, and then you have Boone on the other edge. So Charlie, like I could go on and on and on. Like it's guys that's really giving us that pass rush ability to get to the quarterback.
There's still some chunk yardage plays in the second scrimmage. I mean, how much of a concern is that carrying over week to week?
Chunk yardage with the ones, y'all didn't see any with the ones. The twos, we got to do some things. We got to fix it. We got to be in our gaps when we should be in our gaps, and when it's man to man, we got to be on our man. But no concerns. If it is, we'll get it fixed.
Coach, what's the transition like going from camp stuff to the first game of the season and actually starting to scout opponents for a coordinator?
Just really, you go from putting all the pieces together and figuring out, okay, who's going to be where as far as on defense. And then you start watching the opponent and you're seeing what they're doing. Okay, what do we need to do to stop what they're doing? But in the mix of that, you're trying to figure out, okay, who's going to be on the field for you, right? And then once you figure that out, okay, how are we going to stop the actual opponent that we're about to face?
I'm not sure where Frank Mulipola, I don't know if I said that right, lines up and stuff, but any thoughts more about playing him inside? And also, Justice Boone's a pretty big guy. Any thoughts about while Oakland's out?
Well, we got we have different packages for those guys to possibly move inside. Frank is coming along. Frank is a guy, man. He's learning football. One thing I like about Frank, his effort, 100 miles an hour. So now we got to get him lined up in different places. But he's a guy that comes with great attitude and great effort. We'll figure out where we want to put those guys right now. Haven't got far down that road yet.
I think of your hog position, I think of a guy that has to do everything, but maybe a little bit more pass responsibility. And then I guess maybe the nickel, or excuse me, the penny.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more run.
Yes.
Tell me what you're looking for in that position.
So that hog is more pass and run. He's that nickel, and the penny is a Sam backer, pretty much. So when our penny is out there, our penny personnel is a Sam linebacker that's out there. So that's the difference between the two.
And I've got a pretty good idea on the Buck, but I was wondering just if you could explain it.
Yeah, Buck is an outside, your outside linebacker that can play some defensive end because we can go from our 4 down to our 3 down. A guy that can rush the passer, a guy that can drop in space. So it's a guy that has to have different type of skill set than a true just defensive end. So Coach Adams has done a great job going out and identifying those guys. So we have a room of 3 or 4 guys that can do that. That's a great question. We have man, you got Charlie, you got Boone, you have Philip Lee. That's 3 off the top of my head that can do it. That's I'm trying to see who else. It's another guy, but we have 3 for sure that we can put at the Buck position that could play Buck and defensive end. Tally is another one. Ken Tally is another one that could do both. That'd be the 4. Yeah, that'd be the 4 there.
You mentioned going on to an opponent. How much have you looked into Alabama and A&M? I think they have a 7th-year quarterback, and just maybe what you know of them so far.
Really just started watching them this morning, just trying to get the lay of the land of who they are, and watching a lot of tape from when the coordinator was at Miles College, and just trying to figure out who they are and what they're trying to do on offense. So we just started watching them this morning, and very well coached. I know the head coach, and they'll be ready to roll.
With Coach Petrino, you mentioned that let plays go on and all. That seemed like a thing. I remember him doing that here as a head coach back when he was here. Is that pretty standard in the industry to let plays keep going?
Different places do different. I've been a part of both. I've been part of both, and both styles work. So I've been part of both.
When on the penny position, if you do a 3 linebacker formation with the top 3 guys, Sorey, Shaw, and Dix, I mean, which one of those is maybe best suited for that type of versatile position out there?
Sorey and Shaw would be the 2 that you could kind of move around. I like to keep Steven right in the middle and let him quarterback everything, get the front set, and be that enforcer in the middle.
With all the versatility that you guys have of multiple positions for these guys, do you think this could be maybe the most multiple you've been as a defensive coordinator since you arrived here at Arkansas?
Yeah, I could definitely say that because you got more toys to play with. As long as we can keep everybody healthy, it'll be a good thing. So yes, we definitely have more depth to do more there.
You mentioned Steven being kind of the quarterback of the defense. I guess he has the green dot on his helmet. Who else, if he's not in the game, who would be the next guy with the?
We haven't really. We kind of toured around with 2 different ways of doing it. It's been Steven, it's been Shaw, it's been Larry, it's been Miguel, it's been Caleb. So we don't know if it's going to be the linebacker. We don't know if it's going to be the safeties that's going to be able to control it. Just talking to a few of my buddies, especially in the NFL, some of them put it on the safeties. At least they can get everything lined up, so now the ball's not thrown over your head type of deal. So whoever it is is going to have to communicate. So we're still figuring that out.
And I wanted to ask about an offensive guy. Mike Washington is a guy that we've heard make a lot of plays. Just game planning against him in practice. Kind of what are the challenges of defending him?
Yeah, we don't game plan in practice, but I can tell you this: he's a good football player. Man, he has speed. He has size. He doesn't say a word. Come to work. He goes to practice. He's been a really, really good get for us, and Coach Kobe Smith has done a really good job identifying him. And man, he's a good football player. He really is.
I don't think we've talked that much about Charlie Collins in here throughout camp, but just what strides do you feel like he's made since his freshman year, and how do you kind of see his role?
Yeah, he's getting better and better. He's a guy you can coach hard. Charlie is a guy you can coach hard. He'll come back to work the next day and try to correct whatever you're trying to fix. Plays hard. He's trying to do exactly what Coach Adams asked him to do. Man, I'm very pleased with Charlie.
Fernando Carmona was saying that the defense had a lot of energy in the scrimmage, kind of taking the place of the offense from the first scrimmage. How do you see that build up throughout the week?
Yeah, I think, man, we all a team. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about the offense energy, defensive energy. It's the Razorbacks energy, you know. So I just think Coach Pittman, he talks about that a lot. A team having the energy, offensively, defensively, special teams. I don't think it's an offense versus defense type of deal. We all want to go out there and perform, but we want the Razorbacks to look good. You know what I'm saying, all together, if that makes sense.
Hey, Coach. I'm curious for you personally, year one to now, what are some of the biggest differences for you just comfort-wise going through fall camp?
Yeah, just being able, having a little bit more depth, you know, we'll be able to do a little bit more. We'll be able to deny the ball more, playing a little bit more man. You know, we want to deny the ball as much as we can, you know, so we have the pieces in the back to do that, and also being able to play our zone as well. But we want to be able to shorten those windows, the throw-in windows for the quarterback and being aggressive. I mean, that's who I am. You know, I'm naturally an aggressive person, but you have to be able to adjust to your personnel, right? So I thought we did well with that the first 2 years. And now that we go in the portal and we kind of identify the talent that we need, we better do some different things.
I know we've asked you about it a lot, but just how much going through fall camp in year 3 does the staff continuity that you have help?
Man, it's so good. I mean, it's going to year 3. Got Coach Woodson and Coach Adams. This is our 3rd year together. We know each other inside out. And a lot of people don't understand our analysts and GAs are a big part of that as well. You know, now this is Coach Perry's first year with us, but, man, he's a pro. He's been on the NFL level. You know, he understands what we're about and what we're trying to get accomplished. And the first thing is about the players. The players. And see, a lot of coaches get caught up and think it's about them. It's about the players. We're here for the players, and we got to put those guys in the best position to be successful. So no egos in our room. Whatever was best for the Razorbacks and was best for the players is what we're going to do.
I was curious how you knew Sam Shade. I know he's from Alabama, so I assume there's paths crossed that way.
Yeah, so I don't know him personally. I just know he's a great person and a great coach. He actually played at University of Alabama. Heard everybody I talked to have said great things about him. So he's a professional. He did a really, really good job at Miles last year and won a lot of games and very well respected in the state of Alabama and college football. Y'all awesome. Thank you. Thank y'all guys.